Stoicism for modern life, find calm, love, and resilience. In today's interconnected world, we might paradoxically feel more isolated than ever. With technology, social media, and the fast-paced nature of our daily lives, it's easy to get caught up in a whirlwind of virtual connections, leaving us feeling alone in a crowded digital space. But what if there was a way to find balance and inner peace amidst this chaos? Enter Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that offers a timeless guide to resilience, emotional intelligence, and perspective. In this video, we'll delve into how Stoicism can help us lead more fulfilling and peaceful lives, providing practical tools to navigate the complexities of our modern world with wisdom and serenity. While we spend a significant amount of time on social media and computers, it's essential to reflect on the quality of our real-life relationships. This video aims to explore the key to attracting meaningful relationships and how historical philosophy can guide us in setting higher standards, overcoming present challenges, and choosing a life partner. We'll challenge the notion of love at first sight, as portrayed in romantic stories, and delve into the reality of genuine love, which requires dedication, effort, and time. In today's world, the idea of love at first sight is prevalent, often depicted in romantic stories and movies. However, it's crucial to understand that this instant connection is more of a myth than a reality. True love, the kind that fosters long-lasting, high-quality relationships, requires nurturing over time, much like a plant that needs water, light, and protection to thrive. Love demands unwavering loyalty, patience, and commitment, and it's a journey that calls for unshakable trust and devotion, which cannot be achieved overnight. Imagine a relationship as a garden. It needs to be planted with the seeds of understanding, conversation, and empathy to grow and bear fruit. These seeds must be regularly watered with commitment, respect, and emotional support for love to flourish and strengthen over time. Just like a garden, there may be dry spells, where problems, mistakes, and differences test the relationship. However, true love is resilient, and with patience and understanding from both partners, it can weather any storm. Understanding that love is a journey of growth, building, and maturity is fundamental to attracting quality relationships. Hard work, loyalty, trust, and commitment are the building blocks of a truly special and enduring relationship. To draw such relationships, it's crucial to comprehend the workings of feelings. We often confuse real love with obsession or fleeting sexual desire, which can lead to unhealthy relationships and leave deep emotional scars. Differentiating between love and addiction is essential. Obsession, characterized by intense and illogical feelings that can lead to harmful actions, is distinct from real love, which is calm, thoughtful, and measured. Being overly protective is a sign of obsession, while true love is characterized by a balanced and considerate approach. To begin this journey, it's vital to understand and separate feelings, as this confusion can lead to detrimental relationships and life-altering decisions. Being controlling or jealous isn't a sign of love. Instead, it's about accepting and respecting your partner's individuality. Just as it's crucial to understand when we're merely physically attracted to someone, physical attraction should not be mistaken for love. Although it's a normal and healthy part of relationships, physical desire shouldn't be the sole factor keeping a long-term relationship strong. Understanding our feelings also means recognizing when we're in an unhealthy relationship. It's essential to maintain self-esteem and know when it's time to move on if your partner frequently hurts you, doesn't care about your feelings, and fails to respond to your attempts to communicate. This decision might be challenging, but it's crucial for your long-term mental health. Self-discovery is a process that helps us understand our feelings better. Seeking therapy or counseling can be beneficial during this journey. By understanding and differentiating between our feelings, we can make more informed decisions about our relationships, choosing those based on genuine and healthy love. Mutual understanding, respect, and open communication are the foundation of good relationships. It's important to know when to move on and value yourself. Recognizing the unique contributions we bring to a relationship and having the courage to end it when necessary are both essential steps towards quality relationships. This emphasizes the importance of self-worth and self-esteem, even if it means making difficult choices to attract quality relationships. Self-love begins with self-respect. By setting high standards for ourselves and expecting to be treated with respect and dignity, we can avoid entering unhealthy relationships where our needs and feelings are overlooked. Recognizing unhealthy relationships is a part of self-evaluation. If your partner consistently hurts you, such as through emotional abuse, neglect, or betrayal, it's crucial to prioritize your mental health and self-worth. Although it can be hard to make this decision, it's important for your long-term happiness. Remember that time heals even the deepest wounds. While scars may remain, they won't always be visible. It's essential to have the courage to move on, even if it's painful. The end of a relationship can be a chance for personal growth and the opportunity to meet someone who truly cares about and respects you. It's important to understand that we can't change others. If someone doesn't want to change, we can't make them. Stoicism can be a helpful approach when dealing with a relationship that isn't working. Accepting what is out of our control and focusing on what we can change can help us move forward with confidence. Remember that you are more than your fleeting thoughts and feelings. To attract relationships that truly value and appreciate you, you must first value yourself. This is an act of self-love. When seeking quality relationships, it's crucial to look beyond physical attractiveness. Attraction is important, but it should not be the only factor when considering a life partner. Attraction often begins with a spark, but it is important to recognize that this initial interest can be fleeting. If a relationship is solely based on physical appearance, challenges may arise as time passes and the allure of looks diminishes. Therefore, it is crucial to seek a connection that delves deeper than mere surface-level attraction, one that remains vibrant and resilient over the years. The essence of a strong relationship transcends physical attributes. It should be rooted in intelligence, friendship, trust, and mutual support. Your ideal partner is someone with whom you can share both joyous and challenging moments, creating a bond that withstands the test of time. When considering a life partner, it is also essential to reflect on the potential for starting a family together. A significant indicator of a healthy relationship is the confidence that your partner is someone you would want to raise children with. Focusing exclusively on societal standards of beauty can narrow your options and lead to connections that lack depth. Instead, prioritize finding someone with whom you can establish a genuine bond, someone who can be your closest friend, a reliable confidant, and a source of unwavering support during tough times. The key takeaway here is that meaningful relationships are built on more than just physical appearance. They are founded on trust, respect, and mutual understanding. If you aspire to discover true love and lasting relationships, it is vital not to settle for superficial connections. Embracing the things we cannot change is a crucial aspect of nurturing quality relationships. Understanding and accepting that some factors are beyond our control is essential for our personal growth and the development of significant relationships. This point highlights the importance of accepting what cannot be altered and how this acceptance can lead us to forge meaningful connections. The human experience inevitably includes moments of rejection and disappointment, which are often beyond our influence. A rejection does not imply that we are unworthy of love or that there is something fundamentally wrong with us. Rather, it frequently indicates a lack of compatibility with that particular individual or that they failed to recognize our true potential. Emotional maturity involves acknowledging the things we cannot change, allowing us to release the constant need for validation and acceptance from others. Recognizing that the world is filled with diverse individuals, each with their own preferences and perspectives, can help us move past the disappointment that accompanies rejection. It is essential to remember that the world is vast and populated with various kinds of people. Each time we face rejection or disappointment in love, we are one step closer to the affirmative response that could transform our lives. Love and meaningful relationships can emerge unexpectedly and at the most surprising moments. Accepting what we cannot change not only aids us in coping with rejection but also cultivates a resilient mindset that empowers us to look forward to the future and embrace opportunities that we might otherwise overlook. The main takeaway from this discussion is that accepting the unchangeable is a vital component of developing quality relationships. It provides us with the strength to let go of the incessant need for approval and to seize the opportunities that life presents. With each rejection, we inch closer to the affirmative response that has the potential to change our lives. Quality relationships demand a commitment to the growth of both partners. In a world that is constantly evolving, where relationships hold significant importance, it is essential to be dedicated to your own personal development as well as that of your partner. A commitment to improvement, both individually and as a couple, is fundamental to nurturing a healthy and thriving relationship. To ensure that relationships endure and hold significance, it is essential to recognize that both you and your partner are in a constant state of change. This ongoing evolution is a natural part of life, as everyone experiences various transformations over time. Supporting each other's growth and remaining open to these changes is crucial. Establishing clear and honest communication lays a solid foundation for your relationship. It is vital to understand each other's needs and collaborate to address challenges, which necessitates open discussions about your goals, ambitions, difficulties, and concerns. Being a source of support and motivation for your partner means being present for them in their pursuits and endeavors. This support not only helps individuals develop personally but also strengthens the bond during tough times. When both partners acknowledge and respect each other's choices and values, they are practicing acceptance and respect. It is important to remember that understanding and embracing differences is fundamental to a healthy relationship. Setting shared goals and objectives is an integral part of mutual growth. These goals could range from career aspirations to family plans or any other common objectives. Collaborating to achieve these goals fortifies the relationship between partners. While it is essential to allow each other the space to grow individually, it is equally important to remain committed to collective growth. Each person should continue to evolve on their own, and being open to learning from challenges and mistakes is a vital aspect of ongoing development. Growth is rarely linear. Obstacles can serve as valuable learning opportunities that ultimately strengthen the relationship. This point underscores the significance of loyalty to both one's own growth and that of one's partner in a quality relationship. Making a commitment to support each other's development enhances the connection and facilitates navigating life's challenges together, making the relationship more enduring and meaningful. The notion that love is fundamentally a conscious choice in quality relationships will be explored further. This challenges the romanticized idea that love can occur spontaneously and effortlessly. Instead, it emphasizes the importance of intentionally choosing to love and nurture the relationship. Recognizing that love transcends mere feelings and is a deliberate choice is crucial. This means making a daily commitment to love, respect, and support your partner, regardless of the circumstances. True love is characterized by loyalty and commitment. With such a pledge, you promise to remain devoted and affectionate towards your partner, no matter the challenges that may arise. Quality relationships possess the resilience to weather storms and difficulties, thanks to their strong foundation. Committing to conscious love equips you with the strength needed to confront issues and emerge even stronger. A shared commitment to growth signifies that both individuals desire the relationship to evolve and improve. It implies a willingness to learn, grow, and adapt together over time. To truly understand and accept one another, it is essential to acknowledge that no one is perfect and that everyone makes mistakes. Accepting imperfections and learning to forgive are key components of lasting, mindful love. Open communication is vital for this awareness to thrive. Mindful love involves discussing your feelings, needs, and desires in a respectful and transparent manner. When you choose to respect one another, you treat each other with dignity, even in moments of disagreement. By celebrating differences within the framework of conscious love, both partners recognize that these unique traits can enhance the relationship and foster growth and understanding. Viewing love as a conscious choice transforms it from a mere occurrence into a lifestyle that prioritizes loyalty, strength, and mutual growth for both partners. This narrative shifts the perception of love from something that simply happens to a deliberate and meaningful journey. Building meaningful, lasting relationships requires intentional effort and a deep understanding of what truly fosters connection. One of the most effective ways to cultivate strong, enduring bonds is by choosing to love with purpose. In our exploration of what makes relationships thrive, we've identified 7 foundational principles that shape how we perceive love and form meaningful connections with others. Reflecting on these ideas reveals that healthy, resilient relationships aren't accidental, they're the result of deliberate choices and consistent actions. We've discovered that genuine love isn't something that simply appears, it demands time, dedication, and patience to grow stronger through shared understanding, mutual commitment, and emotional alignment. A critical skill in nurturing quality relationships is distinguishing between fleeting emotions like passion or physical attraction and the deeper, more enduring nature of true love. This clarity helps us avoid toxic partnerships and build ones rooted in respect and authenticity. A vital aspect of finding meaningful connections is learning to value yourself and knowing when to walk away from relationships that don't honor your worth. This practice not only protects your self-esteem but also increases your chances of experiencing genuine love. As we've explored, love isn't solely about physical appearance or intellectual compatibility, it's built on friendship, mutual support, and shared growth. Accepting the things we cannot change teaches us to release the need for constant validation and instead focus on the opportunities life presents. Committing to personal and relational growth strengthens bonds, helping partners navigate challenges together and creating a relationship that endures and deepens over time. Shifting our perspective from viewing love as a passive experience to an active choice transforms how we approach relationships. These 7 insights remind us that love is a journey requiring daily decisions, not a destination. When seeking meaningful connections, the reward is forming profound relationships with those we choose to love. Let's apply these lessons to enrich our lives, support our growth, and secure long-term happiness and well-being. Have you ever felt insignificant or overlooked? It's an unsettling experience, but it's even more painful when someone close, like a family member, friend, or partner, seems indifferent. Is there a proven way to become someone's priority? The answer lies in understanding and applying specific strategies. By taking intentional steps, you can ensure that others consistently value and prioritize you. The first step in solving any problem is understanding its root cause. Why do you feel unimportant to someone? Why would they choose to spend time with others instead of you? Researchers suggest 2 common reasons. 1, they assume your presence is guaranteed, leading them to take you for granted, and 2, they don't view you as essential to their life, preferring other people's company. While this truth may be difficult to hear, recognizing it is crucial to making meaningful changes. To shift this dynamic, begin by reassessing your approach. Step 1, pause and reflect on how you engage with others before taking further action. Have you ever found yourself constantly initiating conversations with someone important in your life, only to feel like they're taking you for granted? It may seem counterintuitive, but being the one who always starts the conversation can actually have the opposite effect of what you're hoping for. When you're always the one reaching out, the other person can start to feel like they don't need to put in any effort to stay in touch with you. As a result, they may begin to see you as less important over time. So, what's the solution? Try stopping yourself from always being the one to start conversations. See what happens when you wait for the other person to reach out to you. If they truly care about you, they'll make an effort to get in touch. This simple act of waiting can help shift the dynamic of your relationship and make the other person realize that they need to put in more effort to stay connected with you. Another important thing to keep in mind is the concept of quality over quantity. In many areas of life, including relationships, it's often said that quality is more important than quantity. If you want to be important in someone's life, you may need to be less available. When you're always easy to reach and available at a moment's notice, the other person can start to take you for granted. This doesn't mean that you should only be available when it's convenient for you, but rather that you should prioritize your own needs and show the other person that you have a life outside of them. Being a little mysterious can also go a long way in making you seem more important to someone. People are often drawn to relationships where there's an air of mystery and intrigue. If you want to be seen as important, try not to reveal too much about yourself right away. Drop hints about your interests and hobbies, but don't feel like you need to share every detail about your past. Leave some things to the imagination, and let the other person wonder about you. This will help keep them interested and invested in getting to know you better. It's also important to let the other person put in effort to get your attention. When someone has invested time and energy into you, they're more likely to see you as important. One way to do this is to refuse plans that you know you can't keep, and let the other person wait for you to show that your time is valuable. This will help them realize that you're not like everyone else, and that they need to put in more effort to get your attention. Taking care of your own needs is also crucial in making yourself seem more important to someone else. This doesn't mean being selfish, but rather prioritizing your own well-being and making sure you're not putting yourself in situations where you're not valued. If you know someone doesn't care about you or treat you the way you deserve, spend time with people who do. Remember that you have no control over how others feel about you, but you do have control over how you feel about yourself. It's also worth noting that people often place more value on things that they feel like they can't have. If you make yourself too available or needy, the other person may start to take you for granted. Instead, focus on being confident and self-assured, and let the other person know that you're not desperate for their attention. This will help them see you as more valuable and important. Finally, making the other person afraid of losing you can be a powerful way to make them see you as more important. When someone feels like they might lose you, they're more likely to appreciate and value you. This doesn't mean playing games or being manipulative, but rather being confident and self-assured, and letting the other person know that you're not afraid to walk away if you're not treated the way you deserve. By following these tips, you can help shift the dynamic of your relationships and make yourself seem more important to others. Remember to prioritize your own needs, be confident and self-assured, and let the other person put in effort to get your attention. With time and practice, you can build stronger, more meaningful relationships that are based on mutual respect and appreciation. One of the most powerful strategies to encourage someone to prioritize you is by influencing their emotions. People tend to be more motivated by the fear of losing something rather than the desire to gain it. If you want someone to recognize your significance in their life, instill a sense of fear about losing your companionship. A practical way to achieve this is by spending more time with other individuals and reducing the time you dedicate to them. By mentally distancing yourself and feeling less connected, they may perceive themselves as less important to you. While this approach can be effective, it is essential to exercise caution. If you create too much distance, they might make efforts to win you back. Next, it's crucial to take charge of your own happiness. Relying on others for your joy can lead to disappointment. While it's wonderful to have someone who uplifts us, placing our happiness solely in their hands can be risky. When we depend on others for our happiness, we may find ourselves straying from our own aspirations and goals, which can lead to frustration. Cultivating your own happiness is vital if you wish to hold significance in someone else's life. When you radiate happiness and self-assurance, others will find you more attractive and appealing, contributing to your long-term well-being. Another important step is to be prepared to walk away if necessary. This may seem daunting, but it is a crucial action if you want to be valued in someone's life. By demonstrating that you won't settle for less than you deserve, you send a clear message. The right person will naturally prioritize you and strive to keep you in their life. Stoicism can be a valuable philosophy in this regard, as it teaches you to develop resilience and the courage to pursue the life you desire. The concept of Stoicism was introduced by Zeno of Citium, who lived around 300 years before Christ. He was a successful merchant until a shipwreck caused him to lose everything. In Athens, he began exploring philosophy to understand his circumstances better. He studied under Crates, one of the leading thinkers of the time, and eventually founded his own philosophical school known as Stoicism. Unlike other schools of thought, the Stoics aimed to engage with people about life and how to enhance it. Stoicism later spread to Rome, influenced by figures like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus, who was a former slave. During that era, women were often denied formal education, yet they hosted convivia, social gatherings where friends discussed spiritual ideas. In this segment, we will explore 7 essential actions to confront our fears and enhance our self-worth, safety, and confidence. It's important to trust in yourself. The fear of failure can often hinder our ability to feel competent when trying new things. Epictetus, despite being born into slavery and having limited opportunities, became one of the most renowned Stoic leaders and thinkers. He believed in his capacity to contribute value and learn, demonstrating that confidence is not merely an innate trait but something that can be cultivated over time. Many of us mistakenly think that confidence is a quality we either possess from birth or lack entirely, but this is far from the truth. Throughout our lives, it can often be challenging to maintain self-belief, especially during tough times when we might feel as though we have little to offer the world or that we are unworthy of our desires and achievements. However, these feelings are misleading. For instance, I have always held the belief that change is possible for everyone. Since childhood, I have sought ways to learn and improve myself, which is how I discovered the philosophy of Stoicism. When the idea of starting a channel to discuss this philosophy arose, I initially hesitated, doubting my ability to contribute anything meaningful. Yet, seeing the positive changes you all are making in your lives, as reflected in your comments and kind words, fills me with joy. Imagine, for a moment, that you are struggling to recognize the wonderful qualities within yourself and the ways you can contribute to making the world a better place. In such situations, engaging in a few simple actions can help restore your self-belief. Start by creating a list of all the goals you have already accomplished, and then set new aspirations for the future to enhance your confidence. Building new friendships and having supportive conversations can also be beneficial. Seek out different perspectives on life, look for opportunities to utilize your skills, and prioritize self-care. Another important point is to avoid excessive self-doubt. When you find yourself overthinking, planning too much, or becoming overly analytical, it can lead to inaction and a sense of paralysis. This relationship between overthinking and inaction is beautifully illustrated in a poem known as The Centipede's Dilemma, often attributed to Catherine Crater. In this poem, a centipede moves effortlessly until a frog inquires about how it coordinates its 100 legs. The centipede then becomes so preoccupied with this question that it loses its ability to move. Similarly, when we overthink, we can become confused and unable to act with the courage we once had. We are not only meant to think and plan, we must also take action. When we dwell excessively on the past or the future, we can become stuck, as our thoughts can instill fear. However, the motivation and courage to act become more apparent when we focus on the present moment. This shift in attention allows us to stop ruminating on all the potential negative outcomes. Marcus Aurelius wisely advised us to concentrate on the task at hand with the seriousness and focus of a Roman, freeing ourselves from distractions. It is crucial to prevent our emotions from overshadowing our rational thoughts. While we cannot predict the future, we know that uncertainty is a part of life, and everything can potentially go wrong. Therefore, it is essential to think clearly. Often, our thoughts operate on autopilot, leading us to categorize our experiences into likes and dislikes. When we view our lives through this lens, everything we dislike can become a source of suffering. Conversely, if we approach situations with a mindset of confidence and security, we can navigate challenges more effectively. By thinking clearly in each circumstance, we can assess our actions, responsibilities, or goals without the burden of emotional weight, fears, or past negative experiences. Consider the example of Igor, who is preparing to obtain his driver's license. He has attended all the necessary classes and practiced diligently on weekends with his brother. However, the mere thought of the practical exam fills him with such anxiety that he panics on the day of the test. Overwhelmed by his fears, Igor ends up stalling the car and failing the exam. He did not evaluate the situation clearly based on his skills and preparation. Instead, he allowed his fears and insecurities to cloud his judgment. Stoicism teaches us the importance of acting with awareness and intention, especially after the initial wave of anxiety. When it comes to our emotional experiences, it's important to rise above the fleeting illusions of our initial reactions rather than letting fear and insecurity steer our actions. Instead of being swept away by these emotions, we should aim to take charge, responding with calmness and strength. By shifting your perspective in this way, you'll notice that the things that once troubled you lose their grip, allowing you to move through life with greater ease. For example, imagine you're stuck in traffic and running late for an important meeting. Instead of panicking, you could take a deep breath, accept the situation, and focus on what you can control, like notifying the people waiting for you. This mindset shift can make challenges feel less overwhelming. Focus on finding answers, not pointing fingers. Our inner fears often push us to look for someone to blame rather than seeking solutions, because solving a problem means facing the tough work of changing ourselves. It's tempting to shift responsibility onto others. Sometimes even asking people not to hold you accountable can feel like a huge request. But constantly blaming others tends to backfire, pulling us further away from resolving the issue at hand. Instead of thinking about how to fix the problem or what steps to take, we get caught up in figuring out who's really at fault. The remedy for this blame game is humility. Contrary to what many might think, owning up to the results of our choices and errors isn't just a sign of maturity, it's a tremendous opportunity for personal growth. Taking accountability not only helps us grow as individuals but also strengthens our relationships with others, fostering trust and understanding. Embrace the value hidden in your missteps. Errors are an unavoidable part of life, and if you're terrified of making them, you risk becoming trapped by the pursuit of perfection, too afraid to take action in case you stumble. No matter how brilliantly we perform, perfection is an impossible goal. An overwhelming fear of mistakes, combined with never feeling satisfied with your efforts, can turn you into a harsh judge of yourself and those around you. Living in a state of constant vigilance, scrutinizing every move for potential flaws, is exhausting. But there's a way to break free from this draining cycle. Learn to see the beauty in your mistakes. Take, for instance, the Japanese art of kintsugi, which repairs broken pottery by filling cracks with gold, silver, or platinum lacquer. Rather than hiding the damage, kintsugi celebrates it, making the cracks the most striking and beautiful feature of the piece. Similarly, in our own lives, many of us carry the weight of our past, including the visible marks and scars we've collected over time. Even now, the fragility of our existence is evident, and our flaws are woven into who we are. The passage of time leaves behind traces, scars, cracks, and evidence of ongoing wear and repair. While we often try to cover up these imperfections, kintsugi teaches us to embrace them, turning what we see as flaws into features of beauty rather than something to hide. Learn to make sense of your fears. The philosopher Epicurus taught that our main job is to examine our fears logically, freeing ourselves from the control of sadness and anxiety. As a teacher, he stressed the importance of breaking down our fears rationally. If we carefully dissect each fear, we'll often discover that many of them have no solid foundation. Frequently, the root of our fear isn't the situation itself but a deeper worry, such as the fear of being judged by others. Epicurus encourages us to see that many of our fears are actually tied to desires. For example, when we're afraid of losing our job, it's not just the unemployment that scares us but also the harsh opinions of others, magnified by the dread of being publicly seen as a failure. In today's world, we're bombarded with irrational fears, often fueled by consumerism and the pressure to own more. This creates a web of anxieties, making it easy to confuse every want with a critical need. Take the fear of not owning a car, for instance. This worry can spiral into significant stress, even though having a car might not be essential for everyone. By stepping back and analyzing these fears, we can begin to untangle what truly matters from what's simply a product of societal pressure. In today's society, it's easy to fall into the trap of believing that owning a car is a necessity for survival. While a car certainly makes life easier, at its core, it's simply a mode of transportation. There are numerous other ways to get around without having to own a vehicle, such as public transportation or ride-sharing services. Throughout history, certain fears have remained constant, like the fear of not having access to clean water, food, shelter, or safety. These fears were shared by our ancestors and are still relevant today. However, it's crucial to differentiate between fears that are justified and those that are merely perceived. Epicus, for instance, encourages people to confront their fears by studying philosophy. This practice can help raise awareness of our fears and teach us how to manage them. Philosophy serves as a tool to see life as it truly is, empowering us to discern what deserves our attention and what we should let go of. It makes us more aware of our fears, whether they're rational or irrational. Another way to make sense of our fears is by challenging ourselves, like those who climb mountains despite their fear of heights. It's important to analyze and perceive these fears objectively, and to approach them with humility. Humility and courage are closely linked, as illustrated by the tale of the emperor's new clothes. When we're overly proud, we can become cowardly about things that might threaten our ego, just like the emperor who wouldn't admit he couldn't see the non-existent clothes for fear of appearing foolish. By humbling ourselves, we become braver, no longer afraid of making mistakes or being wrong. Remember that your role in the grand scheme of things is small, and your time is fleeting. Don't fear the judgment of others. The difference between a sophist and a stoic is that a sophist seeks knowledge to be applauded by others, while a stoic seeks knowledge to improve themselves without worrying about the opinions of others. In life, we'll encounter both supporters and detractors, but staying static or avoiding progress won't help us grow. What makes us truly special isn't just existing, but the journey we take, the challenges we face, and the growth we experience intellectually and physically. The opinions of others are beyond our control, so we shouldn't give them too much importance. Instead, focus on what's under our control, accepting that we'll be judged for our actions. If that's the price we must pay to achieve our goals, then it's a price worth paying. By following these 7 principles, we can overcome our inner fears and become braver, exploring the things we truly desire, the knowledge that drives us forward, and the horizons we wish to live. Several years ago, I found myself navigating through a particularly challenging phase in my life. I was employed in a position that left me feeling unfulfilled, where multiple individuals dictated my actions, and I struggled with difficult relationships among my colleagues. It felt as though my life was spiraling out of control, and each day presented an uphill struggle that seemed endless. I assure you, the transformation I experienced was nothing short of remarkable. Gradually, the anxiety and stress that had consumed me began to dissipate, making way for a sense of calm and inner tranquility. My decision-making became clearer and more aligned with my core values and principles. Most importantly, I started to uncover a deeper significance in each day. After immersing myself in more than 10 books on Stoicism, I became captivated by this ancient philosophy, prompting me to share its insights with others. Now, I would like to introduce you to how Stoicism can serve as a foundation for transforming your own life. Together, we will delve into the fundamental principles of this philosophy and discuss their application in real-world, contemporary situations. We will also explore how these principles can act as a guiding compass as you face the challenges of starting anew and crafting a more meaningful existence. In a nutshell, Stoicism is an ancient philosophical tradition that emphasizes the cultivation of virtue, self-discipline, and wisdom. It provides practical tools that can be integrated into daily life, such as managing stress, addressing anxiety and depression, making informed decisions, and pursuing lasting happiness. In this segment, we will examine some key Stoic principles and their relevance in everyday scenarios. We will discuss the importance of virtue, the acceptance of imperfection, and the necessity of living in alignment with our values. Stoicism can empower you to begin anew and construct a more fulfilling and purposeful life. However, it is essential to remember that this philosophy is intended to guide and assist you, it cannot transform you entirely. Let us embark on this journey together to discover how this ancient yet contemporary philosophy can reshape our lives, just as it did for me, leading to my personal renewal. Imagine having the opportunity to wipe the slate clean and start afresh. Would you take it? Restarting your life does not imply erasing or disregarding your past, rather, it involves leveraging the lessons you have learned to forge a brighter and more prosperous future. The process of starting over is a delicate balance between learning from our past mistakes and moving forward with renewed optimism. Our reactions to various situations are a reflection of our perceptions. If we view the world as a hostile environment, we tend to act defensively. Conversely, if we approach it with kindness, our actions will embody love. Stoicism encourages us to scrutinize and adjust our perceptions of life, enabling us to see reality objectively and clearly, without allowing uncontrolled emotions to cloud our judgment. As Seneca wisely noted, we often suffer more in our imaginations than in reality. He meant that we sometimes endure distress over events that have yet to occur or that may never happen at all. If we were to regard each challenge as an opportunity, authentic Stoics would perceive obstacles not as cruel twists of fate but as exercises that fortify the spirit, a new path that allows us to advance even further than before. They urged us to view difficulties as chances for growth, reminding us that just as fire purifies gold, adversity refines resilient individuals, making us stronger and better with each passing day. In his meditations, Marcus Aurelius did not share his happiness with the world. Instead, he offered his most personal reflections, daily reminders about living with authenticity and purpose. The ancient Greek philosophy of Stoicism reminds us that everything in life is transient, including happiness, pain, success, and loss. It encourages us to approach life with an open mind, cherishing the precious moments while being prepared to let them go. As Epictetus wisely said, remember that you have to die, but you don't have to die angry, you can die free. Stoicism teaches us to cultivate self-awareness, find strength in adversity, and live a purpose-driven life. While it can be challenging to deal with disrespect or difficult situations, Stoicism advises us to remain calm and composed, which is essential for a happy and fulfilling life. The ultimate goal of Stoicism is to achieve eudaimonia, or human flourishing, by practicing virtues like wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. By embracing these principles, we can live a life of moral character and virtue. As we navigate the complexities of life, trust plays a vital role in our relationships, whether it's with family, friends, or partners. However, it's crucial to be mindful of certain behaviors that can be detrimental to our well-being. Let's explore 3 types of individuals who may not be worthy of our trust. Firstly, there are those who are easily offended and criticize everything, especially others. When we observe someone constantly finding fault in others, it reveals more about their character than the person being criticized. This critical attitude can be a red flag, indicating that they may not be suitable for a healthy and constructive relationship. Secondly, there are those who appear friendly to everyone, always smiling and claiming to be available to help. While they may seem harmless, it's essential to exercise caution, as they may be more interested in their own popularity than in genuine relationships. Lastly, there are manipulative individuals who prioritize their own interests over others' well-being. These individuals often employ tactics like lies, psychological games, and emotional exploitation to achieve their goals. It's crucial to identify signs of manipulation, such as a lack of transparency, inconsistent behavior, and a constant feeling of being controlled. Setting clear boundaries and assertively communicating our discomfort can help protect us from emotional harm and betrayal. In some cases, distancing ourselves may be the wisest decision. By being aware of these behaviors, we can cultivate healthier relationships and protect our emotional well-being. Remember, trust is a vital component of any relationship, and it's essential to be discerning when deciding who to trust. When it comes to maintaining healthy relationships, it's essential to recognize the signs of manipulation and take steps to protect your mental well-being. This may involve setting boundaries, prioritizing your own needs, and distancing yourself from individuals who consistently disregard your feelings and boundaries. There are several types of people you should be cautious of in your relationships. The first type is the individual who lacks empathy, often prioritizing their own interests over the well-being of others. They may be more likely to deceive or hurt others for their own benefit, making them less trustworthy. Another type of person to watch out for is the one who pretends to listen or fakes engagement in conversations. This can be frustrating and disrespectful, especially when the other person responds with a simple, "I understand," or, "Is that so?" without truly engaging in the discussion. If you find yourself conversing with someone who shows no interest or gets distracted by their phone, it's perfectly reasonable to end the conversation and not invest your time in someone who doesn't value your words. The sixth type of person is the one who consistently faces problems and claims that life is a difficult sentence, with each day bringing new obstacles. However, it's essential to recognize that this person may be contributing to their own difficulties by making wrong decisions and repeating mistakes without learning from them. If you involve yourself with this person, their problems may become your own burdens. It's also crucial to be cautious of individuals who perpetually face problems and live amidst conflicts. They often complain to everyone, mentioning constant difficulties and declaring ignorance about what's happening. In many cases, this person contributes to their own difficulties by making wrong decisions and repeating mistakes without learning from them. The eighth type of person you should avoid trusting and respecting are toxic individuals. These people have a habit of spreading negativity, undermining self-esteem, and creating a harmful environment. They can manifest in various forms, including friends, family members, or even romantic partners. To maintain healthy relationships and preserve emotional health, it's essential to recognize the signs of manipulation and take steps to protect yourself. This may involve setting boundaries, prioritizing your own needs, and distancing yourself from individuals who consistently disregard your feelings and boundaries. By being aware of these types of people and taking steps to protect yourself, you can build healthier and more authentic relationships. Toxic individuals can manifest their harmful presence in numerous ways, often through persistent criticism, subtle or overt emotional manipulation, and consistently disrespectful actions. Their behavior frequently cultivates a damaging and destructive atmosphere, which inevitably erodes personal happiness and diminishes productivity for everyone involved. The negativity that toxic people perpetuate isn't isolated, it has a tendency to spread, becoming almost contagious and negatively affecting the mood and well-being of those in their vicinity. To foster and maintain genuinely healthy relationships, it becomes crucial to develop the ability to identify these detrimental influences and, when necessary, create appropriate distance from them. Your self-esteem is particularly vulnerable around toxic individuals because they often actively fuel your doubts and insecurities, making you question your worth. Practicing self-respect means being attuned to the warning signs of toxicity, establishing clear and firm boundaries, and making your own emotional well-being a top priority. It's vital to communicate assertively and express your discomfort directly when confronted with toxic behavior. However, if the negativity persists despite your efforts, stepping back and creating distance becomes an absolutely essential measure to safeguard your mental and emotional health. Learning to withhold trust and respect from individuals who consistently exhibit toxic patterns is a fundamental practice of emotional self-defense. By becoming adept at recognizing these harmful patterns, consistently setting and enforcing your boundaries, and actively nurturing positive and supportive relationships, it is entirely possible to construct a healthier personal environment and encourage more enriching connections with others. When you observe these kinds of damaging behaviors consistently present in a relationship, it is generally advisable to consider ending that connection as promptly as circumstances allow. Sincerity and integrity form the bedrock of any healthy relationship, and being involved with people who are two-faced or lack these qualities can be profoundly toxic and harmful to your sense of security and trust. We sincerely hope that this information has been beneficial and provided some helpful insights. If you found value in this message, please consider giving it a like. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, we'd be incredibly grateful if you would do so now. It truly makes a difference and costs you nothing at all.